Trigga versus Scopex Squid.
Alright, Dave?
Battle of the baits. So this is where I'm fishing today, More Farm Fishery. Scopex Squid, Nash bait is marvellous. I've caught lots of fish on it over the years. It's one of my go-to baits. So this time around, TRIGGA Pineapple in N-butyric acid. I watched a review of TRIGGA, and it was Nutrabaits doing the review, so they're biased, but they said this Nutric N-butyric acid sends the carp crazy, apparently. And this is the lake, Kingfisher Lake at More Fishery. There's a bloke opposite me. There's lots of places to cast though, but you've got the islands. Apparently the centre of the islands is a good spot. Smaller island with snags that I can see. There used to be a rope across there, but it's been removed, so now you can cast a bit further towards more potential snags. The rain's on its way already. Apparently it's going to be thundery showers and heavy rain, so I do like to pick the days, don't I? As you can see, I made a load of rigs up, and it's going to go onto this helicopter setup, but I just got to do everything inside at the minute because I've got PVA bags to go on, and this rain is going to be here all day. So there's a TRIGGA Pineapple on my first rod, and I think just for starters I'm going to plonk it as close as I can get beneath this overhanging tree to the island, maybe just off the end there, just so I don't go up the tree. Nutrabaits Trigga, Scopex Squid, Nash. Let the battle commence. I've got a third rod here. I'm gonna do something a little bit different because there's catfish in this lake and I've never caught a catfish, right? So on that third rod, gonna choose the spot down here somewhere. I might even, I don't know, what are them plant things in the water? Why put plants in the water right there? Serious snag. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Third rod, I'm going to put on some luncheon meat. I'd say that's a good size to put on the hair. I'm going to fish the margin, you know, with this bit of luncheon meat. So plonk it down to the right hand side. Wow, that was madness. That was in the margin for 20 seconds and my drag started pulling out. I struck and there was something there, but it came off. Mate, let's have another go at that luncheon meat. Right, I think I've got a real small fish on here. Well, fish number one. How very dare you take my bait? A bream, but it's a first fish, so that's a start. So all three rods are back out. Let me just tell you about the lake. The carp go to over 30 pounds. Nothing monstrous, but 30 is still a lovely sized carp. And the catfish, apparently the catfish go to £43. They used to go bigger. I'm not sure what happened, but they lost a lot of their biggest catfish, so that's a shame. I spoke to some fellas in the cafe and the tackle shop this morning. I chose swim 14. I booked it on the Catch website. Book it online, turn up. You haven't got to worry about turning up and not getting the swim that you fancy. And the people in the cafe who fished it regular said this is one of the best swims, and I had no idea. So I just booked it because it was close to a couple of islands and I had places to cast to, so that was a bit of luck. Middle rod. What's going on? This is shifted. This ain't a bream. This is fighting strange. It doesn't feel like a carp. Could be catfish even. I knew it felt different. I've never caught a cat before. They're well slimy. Only small, but yes, this was on Squid Scopex, so it's 2 fish to Squid Scopex, and my first ever cat. My other one's going. I've got to put the catfish back first. Oh, this is mental. I've got another fish on the other rod. It took off, but the catfish is still in the net. I need to release that catfish first. This seems a bit bigger. Oh, manic. See, that's the problem. Normally I bring 2 landing nets, but this lake make you use their own, so they only give you 1. And it's no good if you've got 2 rods going off at the same time. Just under 15 pounds. It fought really hard, and that was on the luncheon meat. The luncheon meat is not in the competition. Or maybe it should. It should be 3 baits versus each other. Well, Scopex Squid is performing. This wind is really picking up. Look, the old bib is flapping about. All my swingers are swinging. I finally got all 3 rods back out. Nothing's happened on the trigger yet. Scopex Squid, we had a bream and a catfish, and on the 3rd substitute rod I just had the biggest fish of the day, just under 15 pound common carp. So it's back out there in the margin with a bit of luncheon meat on, and I think that is not the last of the action. It's superb weather. Just put some more TRIGGA Pineapple out. Nothing's happening on that rod, so I'm going to reposition it just round closer to the rushes on the island. That's as close as I can get without hitting the tree, so I'm quite happy with that. Oh, I might try and do a repair on this garage, you know. That's really irritating. Should stop the noise. Just lost a bream. Result. Lucky I'm not fishing at distance, so it'd be a real pain. You wouldn't be able to cast, would you? You wouldn't struggle to get bait out there when it's a windy day like this. Lucky it's a short chuck to the island. Well, turns out bream like luncheon meat too. Here we go, time to make a change on this TRIGGA Pineapple rod. Pop up is going on. My daughter brought me these for my birthday, so hopefully they bring me a bit of luck. And I've just done the same for the Scopex Squid. Got a pop up on PVA, and because I'm fishing this TRIGGA rod centre of the islands, instead of having the Scopex here, I'm going to put it on the other side of the island where I haven't tried, so it looks a good spot. Catch the pigeon. Well, another gentle take, and it can only mean one thing. The bream is loving this luncheon meat. This is a strange place. Chainsaw carving. I think if I had a go, I would not end up creating anything that looked like one of those. More like a potato or something. It's another carp, and man, this fish doesn't want to give up. He's been fighting for about 10 minutes and he's still got loads of fight. Gonna give it away. Guessing around 16 pounds. It's so lively. Happy with that? Whew, I'm exhausted. Well folks, that last fish was around 16 pounds. I'll have to take the sling off. Sorry, I'm feeling a bit battered by this wind. As you probably noticed from that, me trying to hold that fish, this wind is so strong. My eyes are watering and everything. What actually caught it on was Scopex again. TRIGGA is not doing a thing, and it was in the new area. Instead of fishing this side of the island with the Scopex, I cast just off the island, and that's where the carp come from. Just before that I had another take from that same spot, so can you hear that? That's that metal thing flapping about. My repair I did earlier didn't work. I'm feeling a bit nervous. Imagine trying to do a night's fishing here. You'll get no sleep at all. You know what people, I might move swims. This making noise all day long is really getting on my boobies, and it's gradually tearing more, and I'm a bit nervous. If it flies off and hits me, it might damage my new bivvy. Anything, look at it, anything could happen. Dangerous. Even though I've caught fish here, I think I'm going to move swims. I'm going to go into that far corner, probably take off like Mary Poppins trying to move me bivvy, but let's try it. Oh man, this wind's even stronger. I'll tell you what I did, I've moved swims into the corner of the lake. Let me step back into the bivvy because I don't know if you can hear me through the wind. This left rod is a TRIGGA Pineapple. I've cast it into that little alcove where the rushes and tree meet. Scopex rod is going to go off the end of the island under that tree in the shade. Luncheon meat can plonk in the margins down to the right. Let's get it all done. Well, it's very quiet, and it's strange because the wind pushing down this end of the lake into this corner. I'd expect fish to be here. Although this is the deepest end of the lake, it goes to 8 foot in places, this end of the lake, and down the far end that way is a shallower end. So why would the fish, I don't know, maybe the fish are going against the wind. Blimmin' hell, I'm glad I moved. Look, that's in this wind, that's torn off even more. Imagine that taking off in the wind. Decapitation. Here we go, another tweak. Bit of floating corn, pinky, on the trigger boilie. Let's see what that does. I've done the same with the Scopex boilie, topped off with a bit of pop-up corn. I just put that down there 2 minutes ago. Oh, bloody hell, it's come off. That was down there a minute or two. Mate, it's going back there. Come on, swing 13. I don't believe in bad luck. The wind's got stronger, if anything. And the fish are not at this end of the lake. How strange, it's pushing this way so hard. It's very quiet, fish-wise. Apart from that quick take I had in the margin to the right. It's gone 5 o'clock now, so this could be the time of day when the fish move in, come back down from the shallow end, and hopefully come across my bait. Took a while to come, but this is the first fish on trigger. What a beauty, eh? Probably only 6 or 7 pound, but it's a cracking fish. Bloody hell, missed it. Or have I? Yes, I have. Here we are, this is my behind the scenes filming of my dodgy tripod. The leg fell off in my last video, I don't know if you saw that. And also, I've had to put a tea towel in because this gripper's all worn away. My phone just keeps falling on the floor. I must order a new decent tripod. That one was about 20 quid, but that's what's been doing the business while I make these videos. I'm probably going to give it another half hour, call it a day, so it'd be nice to have another fish or two if we can. It'd be good if Trigga can have another fish or two, and it will be game on. At the minute, Scopex Squid is doing the business, and luncheon meat did alright as well. Well folks, I'm shattered and weather beaten. This wind just hasn't stopped all day long. We almost had a surprise winner. The luncheon meat don't knock the old baits. It wasn't actually even in the competition, but it did well on my spare rod, on my third rod. And Battle of the baits winner this time. Scopex Squid. It had to be, didn't it? What a top bait. The trigger really didn't pull its weight. I've tried in open water, against the islands, in the margins, pop up bottom bait. Tried quite a few different things with the trigger and the Scopex, so they've both had equal chances. And the only time I did catch a fish on the trigger was when I tipped it off with a bit of pink corn. So maybe without the pink corn, maybe the trigger wouldn't have caught at all, who knows. But for this video and this battle of the baits, Scopex Squid does it again. Battle of the baits!